What's up, guys? Jake Glenn Diesel Glendy here, talking to you about kicking the addiction, okay? Talking about caffeine specifically, all right? So as always, these videos are for people who are trying to go into boot camp in the military, all right? Or if you're in the military already, trying to better yourself, okay? And then if you're not worried about the military at all, then you can still listen in and maybe learn a thing or two, all right? So it might be common sense, maybe not be common sense, but in boot camp, you don't get a lot of caffeine. Okay, you don't get your standard cup of coffee. It's not, if you do get coffee, it's decaf, okay? So yeah, just the small amount of caffeine can help curb maybe the headaches that you get, but it's still not gonna help out. So in my suggestion is that you completely either severely limit your caffeine intake before you go in, or you cut it out in general, all together. So, little background about me: when I joined the military, I didn't know about the caffeine thing, but I also was not addicted to caffeine. So I had 2 weeks from high school to boot camp, okay? And yeah, I didn't drink any coffee in high school, so it was not an issue for me. But I did hear other people complain about it in boot camp, saying that they were getting headaches and just like not feeling good and having a really hard time waking up in the morning. And these generally were the guys who were a little bit older than me, right? The guys who had done a few years in college or went straight to the workforce or something like that. So if you're coming straight out of high school, generally you're not drinking a whole lot of coffee, but I mean, it's different for everybody. Also too, take into account the pre-workout that you drink. I'm sure that you're working out before boot camp. Some people get really hot and heavy into pre-workouts that contains a lot of caffeine also. And if you can't work out by yourself without pre-workout, then I would really work on that. I know I've gotten pretty heavily addicted to pre-workouts and things like that in the past, and I tried to stop taking them, and it just felt like I didn't know what to do at the gym. Like I felt really weird going to the gym and not being all amped up and itchy and face feeling like it's gonna fall off, you know what I mean? So anyway, just keep that in mind when you're trying to cut the caffeine out, because if you stop drinking coffee in the morning, but then you're still taking a bunch of pre-workouts and energy drinks and all that stuff, you're not really doing yourself a lot of favors. I mean, you're still helping yourself out a little bit, but either way, all right. Yeah, so there's a lot of caffeine and other things that you can get at boot camp, like there's caffeine in soda, you know, there's caffeine in tea. All right, so anyway, I'm just going to talk to you guys about quitting the caffeine or starting early, getting ahead of it early, because you don't want to have to worry about people yelling in your face and, you know, you're trying to get up super early and stuff like that. It's just without, and then not having any caffeine and then having headaches and things like that. So just trying to help you out. All right, so first things first, you can change the size of your cup of coffee, okay? So if you regularly have 2 to 3 cups of coffee in the morning, take a look at your cup, all right? Because I had to dig in my cupboard for a cup that was actually 8 fluid ounces, like what they actually say, all right? So this is the 8 fluid ounce cup, okay? And then this is, I don't even know, but a lot more than 8 fluid ounces, all right? And like I said, I had to search for this cup in my drawer, and I'm sure most places have larger cups of coffee like this, all right? So a standard cup, this cup right here, 8 fluid ounces of coffee, is generally 94 to anywhere up to 200 milligrams of coffee. So if you have 2 or 3 of those a day, you can pretty much say that's about 300 to 400 milligrams of caffeine straight first thing in the morning, all right? So this one, add a little bit more to that, all right? So if you have 2 to 3 cups of your average cup of coffee, it's going to be even more than that, okay? So take that into account. So you can start by switching the size of your cup. Maybe if you have 2 or 3 cups of regular cup of coffee, just have 2 or 3 cups of the smaller cup, all right? And then that'll help out. You may not feel super energized in the morning. It may take you a while to get used to it, but it's going to be better off than just going cold turkey, all right? Next thing you can do after you've switched to the small cup is try and cut out a cup altogether, all right? So then once you're down to like 2 cups of coffee in the morning, or say 1 cup of coffee in the morning, then that's a significantly lower amount of caffeine, right? And then you're going to be able to function better, you know, at the lower amount of caffeine okay? Because I know that now I drink a lot of coffee, and some days I feel like I can't even function until I've had a few cups of coffee, you know. And I honestly, I couldn't imagine what it would be like to go to boot camp now, being so addicted to coffee, and then all of a sudden I don't get any, you know. That's cold turkey hardcore. So there's that. Then once you limit the amount of cups, then after that, you know, you could switch over to tea. You know, maybe you have 2 cups of tea instead of 2 cups of coffee or 1 cup of coffee. All right, so tea generally is 26 to probably on the high end, I would say about 50 milligrams per cup. So that's already significantly lowering. So if you wanted to switch to tea right in the beginning, I would probably go against that. I would say try to limit your amount of coffee first and then go to tea. All right. And I mean, if you just can't stand tea, then I don't know what to tell you. You could go to decaf coffee too, but that's going to be cutting it real low because decaf coffee still has caffeine for the most part, but it's about 8 to 10, maybe 13 milligrams per cup. So that's not going to help you out too much. That's going to be basically going cold turkey on it. So you could do those things to try and cut it out. I'm just saying, if you don't cut it out, you're going to have a hell of a time. All right. You're already going to be getting up super early. Like I said, people are going to be yelling in your face. You're going to have to do things super fast, early. And if you don't kick the habit now, you're going to have headaches going through all that crap, and that's just not something that you want to do. All right? So all in all, a quick recap. Quit caffeine before you go to boot camp. See ya!